Just close your eyes, try not to scream. The night has come, it's Halloween.
Hi, my name is Steve Kochi. I go by Halstaff on the forums, and we run the SOS Haunt Sanctuary of Spooks here in San Diego. And we've done a couple videos kind of highlighting some of the boards we've put together, trying to get our 3-axis skulls to work. I've been interested since I got into haunting on designing something that would make setting up your own 3-axis skull a lot cheaper and a lot easier. So we did our first video just on the little Easy 4. This board controls just the 3-axis movement of your skull. So it controls the nod, the tilt, and the rotate. And to get the jaw movement, you had to include another board to sync the jaw movement with the audio to make the jaw respond. And you also had to supply audio. So it worked, but it was cumbersome. So the next board that I came up with is the Frankenstein Board. And this board incorporated not only the 3-axis movement for your nod, tilt, and rotate, it also included a stereo audio player with your audio supplied by an SD card, goes on the back, and it also incorporated the jaw syncing circuit. So it was all in one board, no wires running to connect everything. Everything is programmed together. So it was much more convenient, much cleaner, but it still had one drawback, and that was that you still had to go into the program and actually adjust the servo limits and some of the timing and how you wanted to run the trigger, which intimidated a lot of people. A lot of people were scared of the programming aspect of it. So I was at the Cal Haunts meeting here in LA several months ago and talking with one of my fellow haunters up there, Steve Bjork, and kind of showing off the board and how it worked, and we had the skull up and running. People were coming over and getting very interested in the board. And so we began talking about, wouldn't it be nice to be able to do this for a make and take? And it would be something that was fairly easy. We could put it together in one afternoon, but we still had that pesky problem. We still had to have the people do the programming, and that was, again, still scaring people. So with some brainstorming and a lot of work and several different revisions, we came up with the updated Frankenstein board. Now this board, once the actual program is loaded onto the chip, and for something like a make and take, when we got the boards, we could program all the basic chips with the code. The end user would never have to connect this to a computer. It also is really great if you're out in your haunt and you have him set up and you don't like the way the servo limits are set up, you don't have to take the board back in, reprogram the servo limits, and come back. All of it can be done straight from the board. So what we did was, again, looks very similar. We just added a few things. We added a push button here for the selections, and we added a little potentiometer back here that would actually give you your selections and you could dial them in. So it also has a couple extra headers that we added in. We utilized the pins a little bit better and still using that same 10-to-board 20-pin hookup for your audio card and use the SD card. Now one thing we came up with, since it was going to be kind of a process to go through the programming on this, that we would actually add all the instructions on how to set the board up on the SD card, and that would walk you through setting up the program. And it takes 3 or 4 minutes now to totally set up your 3-axis board and get your skull up and running. All right, I'll demonstrate now how quick and easy it is to set your skull up for its 3-axis motion. You plug it in, the LED starts to blink, you push the button.
Welcome to Frankenstein Controller Setup Mode. Adjusting the setup potentiometer is used to select the setup item. Press the setup button once the item has been selected. Exit setup menu.
Well, we certainly don't want to exit. Let's go set the servo limits.
Servos limits.
And we will push the button.
Servos limits. Selected. Servo setup mode. Please adjust setup potentiometer to the center position to continue. Thank you. Setting to head nod servos range. Adjust the setup potentiometer till the nod servo is in the center position and then press the setup button.
Alright, let's just adjust that. That's all the way down. Let's say that's center. Push the button.
Now, adjust the nod servo to the topmost position and then press the button.
Let's say that's the top.
Now, adjust the nod servo to the bottommost position and then press the button.
And we'll go with that as the bottom.
Please adjust setup potentiometer to the center position to continue. Thank you. Setting the head turn servo's range. Adjust the setup potentiometer till the turn servo is in the center position and then press the setup button.
Now I like to check that slew so it can go all the way to there and all the way to there. So let's say center is right there.
Now, adjust the turn servo to the leftmost position and then press the button.
And I don't want him to go quite that far, so I'm going to set him back here. Push the button.
Now, adjust the turn servo to the rightmost position and then press the button.
Let's go the other way. That's his max. I don't want to go quite that far. Let's go there.
Setting the head tilt servo's range. Adjust the setup potentiometer till the tilt servo is straight and then press the button.
Come on. Say they're straight.
Now, adjust the tilt servo to the leftmost position and then press the button. Now, adjust the tilt servo to the rightmost position and then press the button.
Yeah, I don't like him going quite that far. We'll put him there.
Servo adjustments completed. Returning to the main setup menu. Welcome to Frankenstein controller setup mode. Adjusting the setup potentiometer is used to select the setup item. Press the setup button once the item has been selected. Board options.
Well, we want to do the board options next.
Board options. Selected. Board options menu. Again, use the setup potentiometer to select the option and press the button. Top trigger option.
Let's go ahead and set the trigger option.
Top trigger option. Selected. Use the potentiometer to select the trigger type for the prop. Positive trigger option.
Which I'd usually use for a PIR.
Auto start option.
The auto start or negative.
Negative trigger option.
Now we're using the auto start.
Auto start option.
Select that, push the
Auto
button.
start option. Selected. Board options menu. Again, use the setup potentiometer to select the option and press the button. Number of tracks option.
Now you can choose between 1 and 10 tracks for the demo. We have 1 track on here. So select the
Number of tracks option. Selected. Use potentiometer to select the number of audio tracks on the SD card. 1.
which is what we have. Again, we could go all the way to 10. We'll select 1.
Selected. Board options menu. Again, use the setup potentiometer to select the option and press the button. Number of tracks option.
Which has been done.
Prop cycle delay option.
The last setup item we haven't done.
Prop cycle delay option. Selected. Use the potentiometer to select the time delay till the next prop cycle. 45 seconds.
You can select between 5 seconds and 10 minutes.
5 seconds.
And let's go with 15
And
seconds.
15 seconds.
Choose 15, push the
15
button.
seconds. Selected. Board options menu. Again, use the setup potentiometer to select the option and press the button. Number of tracks option.
Well, we've completed all the setups. So let's exit it.
Prop top. Exit board setup menu.
And we do want to exit.
Exit board setup menu. Selected.
Record. And demonstrate the routine.
Few have dared so far into the realms of night. Here in the twilight, between the world of the living and the world of the dead.
For these few nights each year, the veil is torn aside, and that which walks in darkness spills through to your world. Beware, for this night the shadows have power in your dimension, and they are hungry. You must not linger amongst them, or you will be drawn into their dominion, there to dwell with them in torment everlasting. Go now and pass among the shades, but remember, be gone from this cursed place before the full moon sets, or you may never leave.
So, that's what it takes to program it. A few minutes, fairly straightforward, fairly simple. The board walks you through it, and in a few minutes you have your 3-axis skull up and running. So, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. Again, I hope you got something out of it, and get out and build some props. Happy Halloween.